Have an amazing time today. We're having a wonderful guest come today to talk to us on the topic, transitioning an idea, from an idea into reality. So please stay online while I get the coach himself, cello coach, while I get him to join us right now. Mr. Cello Coach, thank you so much. Now, as you join us, please share. How are you doing, Marcelo?
Hi, I'm doing great, but I hear you like really far. Give me a second. Let me see if I can fix this. Can you speak?
Yeah, can you see me now?
Yeah, no, I see you, but I hear you a little bit low. Okay, let's go with it. I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. Thank you so much, first of all, for coming to another edition of the Leadership Standard.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting.
Really appreciate your presence today. We're going to make this really quick. I know that you're very busy. I know that you have a lot of things to do. But first of all, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell the audience who you are, your background, your story, and, what you're doing currently.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for the invitation, and hi to everyone looking the Instagram live. I am Marcelo, and basically I help people to bring purpose back to their work, their business, and into their lives. And I do this by helping them to get down off the train of compulsive thinking and to create space so people can access their own wisdom and take conscious action. And for this, I work as a life and business coach. Now, I usually work with people that already had some kind of success in their lives, people that already realize that more money is not going to make much more difference in their lives and their happiness, especially, and help them to get in touch with this inner wisdom so they can unleash their potential to make their highest contribution in life and in society, while at the same time they create a life that's aligned with their own values. And what else there is to say? Well, originally I was an engineer, an electronics engineer back in Chile. I'm from Chile originally. And after a family crisis, I went into a deep personal development process along with an entrepreneurship process in which I went, I tried a few businesses. And it was a process of trial and error in which I got to kind of like get to know myself, get to understand what do I value, how can I help people, what kind of people I want to help, and it was this process of iteration that eventually got me to develop this practice as a coach. And I've been doing this for more than 6 years now. And eventually I took my practice online, and I've been working remotely as a nomad, traveling the world for the last 4 years. And right now I'm stuck in the Bay Area in San Francisco because of coronavirus, waiting to either go back to my country, Chile, or Asia.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for that introduction. It gives us
Sorry, Butch, I hear you very, very low. I think there's something wrong with your microphone.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right.
Just make sure you speak loud.
Okay, I'll ensure that I speak louder. So I said thank you for that introduction. Thank you so much for that introduction. As I said, we're going to go straight into it. The topic for today, and everyone who is joining us, thank you. The topic for today is transitioning an idea into reality. So from your own experience, from your own personal experience, what would you say is the first thing a young leader should do when they get an idea? What is the first thing a young leader should do when they get an idea?
Yeah, I would start by questioning it, question that idea, and ground your expectations. Especially if you're young and you're starting and you don't have much experience in many things. Self-awareness is key. And without it, you're basically taking a shot in the dark. We operate under our own understanding of reality, under our own models of reality. And odds are, if you're starting, that your model of reality of your business or initiative or whatever idea you have is at best not good. So basically, the sooner you put this idea to the test, the sooner you will find what works. So basically, don't dwell on wishful thinking of these ideas of success, fast success that's going to happen, and really try to ground this as soon as possible and put your best understanding in the matter on paper. Right. Define what's the most risky assumption you're making that, if proven false, could basically bring down your whole business. And go and test it in the market. Let the markets tell you back what is working and what is not.
Awesome. Thank you for that. For that brief summary of what a young person should do, because you said self-awareness is key. Self-awareness is very key. Now, for someone, I had a question. Someone asked me a question at one time. I was like, I have multiple ideas. I have a lot of things I'm thinking of. I have so many ideas in my head. What would be your advice for someone who, has all this, like, too many ideas at the go and maybe suffers from paralysis of ideas? There's some people who have so much ideas, they don't even know which idea, they should start with. What would be your advice for those people?
Yeah, I think that there's many things to consider. One of these would be that there is this idea that you have that you shouldn't put all your eggs in one nest, for example. And right. I'm a friend of that idea. I like that, but I think the problem is people start building many nests and they don't really get to build a nest that actually can grow any eggs. So basically, this idea becomes an excuse for not taking action or for procrastinating, actually not taking care of what's really relevant, what's really important. So one advice in that regard would be, yes, like don't put all your eggs in one nest, but start by building one nest that can actually grow eggs. Right. So basically define what's your priority and keep it your priority. And in this same line, to remember that a priority is a word in the singular, not in the plural. Right. If everything is important, basically nothing is important. And the task, once you find out what's important, is to keep it the priority. It's easy to get distracted, basically.
I'm gonna pick up a question. Stella Hianacho asked a quick question, and I'm going to make this is going to be very random because I know you're a smart man. I've interacted with you times, and I'm awed by your wisdom in business, finances, and economics, and in life generally. So Stella Hianacho asked a question, and the question is, how do you find your market? How does someone who's starting up a new idea, how do you find your market? I know this is me throwing an off ball on you, but just quickly. Let's just ask those questions that people have, and I'm going to go back to Black Boy's question. I know you asked a question. Black Boy, you also asked a beautiful question that's going to be answered. How do you find your market? How do you know your market?
Yes, basically, again, I would come back to self-awareness. Like, why would you approach any given market? Just because there is an opportunity. Once I tried to raise some funds, and I went to pitch my business to some investors, and one investor told me, why would I invest in you if you have no passion for what you're doing? Why would I invest in you if you have no relationship to the problem you're trying to solve? Right. And basically what he was trying to tell me was, you're a risky investment because you don't understand yourself, and you're a risky investment because you don't understand people. And if you don't understand people, you don't understand business. So I would start there, like, self-awareness. Why would you want to approach that business in the first place? Because if you don't care about it, are you really going to have the drive, the motivation to go through the hard times? And also sales, which is the end step of every single business. Like, if a business that don't sell doesn't exist, basically. So if you're not emotionally driven, how can you make people, how can you move people's emotions?
Right.
Sales is a very emotional behavior, so you need to be able to relate to the market you're approaching in somehow. So again, I would start with self-awareness. Why would you like to approach any given market, any given business? And then you need to find a match between your own interest and what the market needs. At the end of the day, business is not about you. It's about your clients. It's about the people you're serving with your business. And if you're not actually solving any problem with your business, then you don't have a business. You have a hobby. And good luck trying to make any money with that. So don't make it about you. Make it about your client. Find out who is your client, who is your market, what are their struggles, and how you can bring some value in a cost-effective way, of course.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to go back to asking the question that Black Boy asked. Thank you. That's a beautiful question. And thank you for joining me. Shout out to Black Boy. Shout out to Stella Yanacho. And shout out to every other person in this video podcast. What do you think of patenting ideas? What's your take on that?
Oh, I have mixed feelings because I understand the concept of protecting intellectual property, but at the same time, it can become a problem when people make just a business of just owning intellectual property just to sue other people and just making money off other people efforts. So I have kind of a mixed feeling about that. What I think about that, if you're starting, don't even bother about this, to be honest. I bother about this like way further down the line, unless the main thing of your product is big. I don't know, maybe you're a PhD and you're doing like a very deep research into something that is really all about the intellectual property. Maybe then, yes, you should start thinking about it very, very soon. But for most people, it's just something that it's not going to matter until you're further down the line. So it's usually one of the things that a lot of people start wasting time, like registering your brand and your ideas, and they spend a lot of money and time in doing that when they don't really have a working product. They don't have a working business yet, and it's probably just wasted money. So make sure you have something first, and once you realize you actually have something, then maybe take care of that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And that's a beautiful answer from you. Because one of the things I like about you is that you're always straight to the point. You say it as it is. You don't care. No filter. And thank you, Black Boy, for that beautiful question. Flora, to you, sir. I'm going to ask you another question. I don't want us to be all abstract, talking like in space. I want to now bring this to your personal life. Your personal life. Mm-hmm. What has been your own personal journey? Your journey. What has been the steps that you've taken in getting your ideas into reality? And how has that been for you?
My own experience into making ideas into reality. The other day I heard a quote that was something like, when you get attached to the life that you plan, you miss out on the life that's waiting for you. Why I'm bringing this up is because I think goals are important and you need to have a vision, but at the same time, plans are obsolete at the time that you print them, that you put them on the paper. They're already obsolete. And you need to know when to move on from the plan that you initially set up to do. So what in those same lines, what I would say right now is my strategy. I would say something very, very broad, is to find out what I don't know. Right. Because again, we, especially when you're starting, we operate under our own model of reality, and we think we understand the market, we think we understand the business, but what we have in our mind is a model of what that business and that market is. And the sooner you find out what you don't know, the sooner you can get to something to know. And you should put into paper like your best guess on what you're facing. But as soon as you realize that your model is broken somehow, move on to that next best guess, and eventually that's how you polish your understanding on whatever you're facing, and eventually you can get to something that works. And I think you need to be humble to do this, to really understand, like, okay, you don't have all the answers, and it's okay not to know everything. Sometimes you just can go take a deep dive into something and make mistakes, and you could say fail your way to success.